Hey guys, I'm back again. It's Valisa Kunene again on the topic my life story. We're going to then continue from where we left off last week. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. I didn't label it to say that it's the first episode. Okay, I'll fix that. But I'm going to then see what's going on here. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's actually plugged into the wall. I'm just surprised why it's moving. Okay, so yeah, guys. So it's going to be then a continuation of where we left off last week, and I think I left you with the question mark of um that my daughter then was my ministry, my first ministry that God had given to me. Okay, so yeah, so God was like working so miraculously in my life at that point, but I wasn't so aware of what He was doing in my life. I was just like concentrating on what other people would think, and obviously what my parents would think, and what other moms out there would think of me, because they trusted me. They thought I would have a brighter future because I went to good schools. I went to schools that they would want their kids to go to, and others were like, yeah, vele ulayekile. How when you come from Kasi, how it is, like people would be like, some people would be actually happy for the fact that you did not succeed to what people thought you would be. So for some people it was disappointment, and for some parents it was like, yeah, Vele, we knew it, this is what's going to happen, and blah blah blah. So there was always a stigma around teenage pregnancy, because we advise our kids even today not to fall pregnant at that age, because it's not the appropriate age, obviously, according to us. So like, yeah, it was one of those things that were going through my mind, and obviously because when you're pregnant at 16, it's like a whole negative thing that people don't want their kids to experience. So you make sure that basically every parent wants to make sure that their kids don't ever go through that in life. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so continuation from last week. So then, hey, my mom goes, she comes back with the news. Everything is fine. The family has accepted me. Everything is okay, and yeah, so now, like, we sleep, everything is fine. We just know that, okay, fine, we're gonna be parents and blah blah blah. So me and my boyfriend continue dating, but yeah, so like, I'm not the coolest chick anymore, because obviously I'm pregnant. So he goes gallivanting with his other friends. I can't, because I'm literally cooped up in the house, because I don't want to go out. And I could sense that my parents as well were sort of like feeling weird about the whole thing, that I'm pregnant. So obviously it's natural for them to feel embarrassed, or to feel like some type of way, although they supported me throughout the whole pregnancy. But it's not like it was something that they were proud of. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, they would also support the fact that I stay indoors and I don't go anywhere, literally. So yeah, so then they come over. Oh, so we sleep, everything is fine. The following day, we hear a knock on the gate, because our gate, like, is literally always locked. So we get a knock on the gate, like, okay, so who's that? So my mom, I think it was actually around 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but I think it was, yeah, so yeah, it was during winter time. So like, yeah, it was still early, but like, it was still early, but it was getting a little bit darkish. I think it was around 5, 6-ish in the afternoon. So my mom comes back, and then she's like, okay. Oh no, she opens for them, and then okay, we just see them walking in. So you're like, okay, but we spoke about everything, what happened. So I was in my mom's bedroom. I was busy with my face. I can't remember. I think I was brushing my hair or something like that. Yeah, because I've always like obsessed about how I look and all those things. So like I was sitting on in front of the mirror on the dressing table. Some of you guys would know what a dressing table is. It was one of those old things that you like used to just sit there in the bedroom. I think other people still use it even today. I'm not too sure. But anyways, yeah, I was sitting there and I was busy doing my makeup. Right, cool. So my mom walks them in and then they come and sit in the living area. So my mom comes and closes the door, but I sort of like sneak and then open the door a little bit so that I can hear what they're actually talking about, because I knew that it was basically about me that they came here. You understand? So I couldn't just leave them to just like talk about me, and what if I didn't hear what was concerning me? You understand? Good enough, they come and they speak, and she come my mother, like, okay, so it was my mom, it was my dad, it was my boyfriend's mother, and my boyfriend's aunt. So she came with the aunt from Spruitview. So they come in, they sit down. Okay, so we welcome them, like my parents actually welcome them. They're like, hi, how are you? Good, 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 good. Yeah, okay. So they like, no, we just came here because we just don't want to delay everything. Like, their story just didn't make sense. But in any case, they spoke what they spoke. So the auntie was like, I guys, you know what? We actually we came here because I've got a son, and my son just had a daughter of which wasn't his, and we only discovered now. So we think that it is safe for, actually, before they even said that, they held like a very long story of this boy, which his name was Usbusiso, and they basically were gunning at the fact that, what if it's not Mpo's child? What if it's not my boyfriend's child? Like, like, what if it's not their child? And so the mom was like, oh yeah, so not that we're saying it in a bad way, but you know a lot of stories have arisen regarding Umbali. And okay, so like I said, guys, whenever I'll be referring to Umbali, it's me, right? Because at home they call me Umbali and everybody else calls me Umbali. Balesa is basically just on my ID. So at work, or people that I actually worked with will then call me Balesa. All right, so so I just wanted to get that out there. Fine. So my mom, okay, so she's like, yeah, so yeah, there's been a lot of things that have been arising. Umbali, apparently she used to be close with this other guy who was still on my who still lives in my street. And I'm thinking to myself, but like, really, like, even if I had all the guts in the world, why would I go for somebody that's literally at my street? And at that time I'm 16 years old, so I hardly even know anything except for me doing something stupid like sleeping with a guy at a very young age. You understand? So it was like, wow, like, why would you even think that? So you think that at 16 years old I had like multiple partners? Basically, that's what she was saying. And my dad even asked that question, like, okay, so you think that my child at 16 would have multiple partners? But in any case, I can't really speak for her, but like, literally, why? And this guy was much, much older than me. Like, maybe like, I think 10 years. Wait, no, actually, more than 10 years older than me. Because right now he's like 40 something and I'm 33. So that guy, yeah, like, he was literally over 10 years older than me. Hi guys. Okay, so anyways, we like they start speaking those stories. So basically they're trying now to deny the child, and then they on some no, they had protected sex, apparently imported. Now we had protected sex, and like the condom was just wet. Like, who does that and who says something like that? So I'm thinking to myself, but I know Mpho very well, and he basically, like, put everything like on the table when when he was asked questions. You know, he was the one who remembered the dates, he was the one who remembered everything, and he was the one who even said that yes, we did not have um 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 so yeah, like so he was the one who remembered like all those things, you know, to say we didn't have protected sex. So like it was kind of like a weird kind of a outcome, you know, like because it was like, okay, so your parents are now saying this, and then now like everything was just so confusing, and everything did not make sense, you know, because how come yesterday everything was fine and then today it's this, you know. So we actually figured out as a family to say, okay, maybe they just they're getting cold feet now of their son actually having a child, you know. So Mpo comes back to me like a little bit later on this evening of like that, no, not that evening, but like the, yeah, actually the same day, like because we used to meet up like at night, like, you know, I've told you guys on my first video. So he came then, and then as he came, I'm a little bit angry at him because I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe he might have said that to his parents, you know. Maybe he might have said that we had protected sex, you know, and I'm the one who's lying, and I'm the one who's the biggest, you know, manipulator here, you understand. So I'm like sort of like in between now. I'm not understanding what's really going on, but I'm just like, okay, fine. I don't think that he'll just, you know, dump me at like a time like this, you know. So good enough. So he comes through, and then so now we have a conversation like, dude, what's going on? Why did your parents come? So he's like, no, even my dad tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen. They said, no, I can't have a child at this age, blah blah blah. And the child, like, I should go for an abortion. I was like, oh my word. Like, are these people actually telling me that I need to kill my daughter? And I'm literally now, I think I was like 5 months, 6 months pregnant. Yeah, 5 months, 6 months pregnant. I must go and kill my daughter so that they can have a satisfaction of their son not having a child, and whose child must die, you know? So like I was so emotional. I went like extremely emo, and I went and I told my parents about it, and I was crying, and I was like, oh my God. They were like, no, who said that? I was like, no, the oldest sister said that. The eldest one said, I'm also too young. Why would I want to have a child at a young age and stuff like that? So yeah, it was a whole big like issue. And then yeah, my parents were very sad about the whole thing. And basically, even before I even go to that story, because I was still on the fact that they were still here, so you guys are probably wondering, so when did they leave and where did the story end? Okay, so they still stayed behind. Yeah, so they told my parents all these sorts of nonsense and blah blah blah. And then my mom was like, okay, you know what, guys, I think you guys have disrespected us enough. Yesterday everything was fine, and then today you guys want to change the whole story. We're not comfortable with that. And we already traumatized by the whole thing, so why would you guys want to like sort of like traumatize us even more, you know, or like make a big fuss about this whole thing? And we already going through so much. Like, our child is the one who's carrying the baby, and we're gonna have to make sure that her life comes back together after this, and then you guys come with such news. So we don't think that we are comfortable with you guys being here, so can you just please leave, you know? Because my parents were quite sad. Like, now they need to come and back, and not knowing that I was listening on the conversation, but like they need to now come back and say, hey, you know, things didn't go well. And I mean, every parent would be so scared for their child to say, hey, maybe my child is going to try and kill themselves, you know? I mean, it's such a big deal. Like, yesterday everything was fine, and then today it's something else, you know? Hey, okay, fine. So they leave. Yeah, we open for them and they leave, and then that's when Paul came then and then told me the story. So I hope that we're together, right? Okay, so we didn't lose out it there. Hi, okay, fine. So what happens after then? Okay, fine. So I'm pregnant now. I'm sitting at home. My parents are still being supportive. They're trying to make sure that I eat healthy and I'm warm all the time. You know how parents are, like they make sure that you're wearing that big blanket and you're always warm at all times. Now it's time for me to actually go to the clinic, like, and literally do all the checkups and stuff like that. So at that time, no medical aid, zero medical aid. I didn't come from a rich family that had medical aid, so I needed to go to the clinic. So I remember my first appointment, like my sister came with me and people kept on looking at me like weird because I was really, really tiny. Even now, like I'm still tiny. I'm sure you guys can see my shoulders and my arms. Like I'm literally still tiny. So it was like weird for people to see somebody so tiny having a stomach. I didn't have that big of a stomach, but then like they were like, oh my god, like how old is she? Because people used to mistaken me for being 12 years old. So you can imagine, like they're looking at this little girl walking into the clinic and she's 12 years old, and I have to bear that, guys. Oh yeah, I have to bear that. All in the name of me coming and telling my testimony to you so that it can save your life. So my life had to be like destroyed, sort of like destroyed, or I had to go through all those embarrassing phases in my life so that I could come back and be a living testimony to how weird can that be? But in any case, so that happened, and I'm very happy that I'm given the opportunity to actually free somebody's life. Like it's a big deal for me. So um I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this opportunity to ensure that somebody gets something out of this video. And yeah, so I'm at the clinic now, and at the clinic people are looking at me weird. I'm with my sister. She's trying to not be weird about everything, so she's like talking to me. So I'm sitting down the whole time, like I don't even want to stand up because immediately when I stand up, like all eyes on me. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing this, nigga. So yeah, it is kind of that. And then yeah, so what happened? Oh yeah. Okay, so now me and my sister on my way on our way back home, and everything is fine. We go back home. I'm like, okay, fine. At least I got through the day. It's not that bad. Like it wasn't that bad at all. Like trying to also convince myself. Even my sister was like, ah man, don't worry about it. It's not much of a big deal, and blah blah blah. So yeah, guys, that's my second episode for you guys. So we'll meet again next week, and hopefully I wanted to actually post these videos on every Monday. But yeah, I literally failed. I don't know what was going on. I think maybe the devil was also fighting me not to sort of like post this video, because I tried to post it up until Wednesday. That's the only time that I could post it. I'm sure you guys saw that I posted on Wednesday. So I'm gonna be doing it every Wednesday. I'm gonna try and be as consistent as possible, so that you guys, when you need it, then you can just have the video. Okay, so yeah, guys, we'll continue next week again. Like I said, I don't want it to be too much of information that you guys are going to be getting. However, I just want it to be moderate, okay, so that you guys remember what we spoke about last week. And if maybe you'd like to share it with your friends, you can as well. And I mean, I don't want to keep you too much from your busy schedules and sort of like make a video that is longer than 20 minutes or longer than 30 minutes. In that way, it's sort of like burning out your ears and sort of like burning out the true purpose of the video. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for listening. I can't wait until we meet again next week. Next week is going to be more spicier and more juicier, so don't miss it, guys. I love you so much, and thank you so much for supporting my channel. Mwah. God bless.